211.
And speaking of synchronicity, my friend, you know, a lot of people have always asked me, how did you meet the Djehuty? How did you meet the Djehuty?
Law.
It
involved law.
It wasn't numerology, folks.
It involved law.
It involved the law.
It involved law.
Djehuty was giving me advice of how to deal with a certain somebody. So we're going to go right down the rabbit hole. I had a student once. Her name was Vara. She is the reason I have non-disclosures. This fucking bitch is the fucking reason I have non-disclosures. She's born 5/25. We'll get into that. By the way, 5/25 from women. If you're born that day, you're banned from GG33. I don't want your money. Get the fuck out of here. Hit the fucking bricks. I didn't know this at the time, but Djehuty dealt with this crazy psychopathic bitch before I dealt with her. And by the way, this is still to this day the craziest, most cringe fucking whore I've ever dealt with in my fucking life. Djehuty, tell us about this woman I know as Vara. What do you know her as?
Man, this girl started out with a lie. Wanted to work for me so bad. And, you know, and she went hard. She did certain things, you know, to prove herself.
She wasn't stupid. No one's ever calling her stupid.
Not
born
at all.
Born on 25, 2 and 5 is 7.
No, that
Sevens are smart.
motherfucker was devious as hell. But she got out to Glendale, hired her. And it was only when I hired her, I could really start seeing who she was as a person. Because there was conversation on the telephone. But man, when that girl was in Glendale, man, it all started coming out, man, piece by piece. And I was like, what in the world did I do? I'm like, oh my goodness, she's not wrapped too tight. I said, this girl got issues. Now I knew she was a Gemini, so I was like, okay, you know, I tried to in the beginning. I tried to justify the behavior.
Gemini on steroids.
You know, I tried to justify, you know, but nah, it was deeper than that. You know, it was deeper than that. And I would say 4 or 5 months, it was full blown. I was like, oh my goodness. Wife at the time put her out. She was staying there. You know, we had 5 or 6 rooms, so she had a room in the house. And the wife, they got into it. The wife put her out. And I was like, damn. I said, this motherfucker ain't got no place to go. Now, you know, I had a couple of spots in Glendale. So I let her stay in one of the spots. Man, I'll tell you, brother, looking back on that, man, there was that thought, like, you know, I should let this motherfucker freeze, you know. But
you would have been better off, brother.
Man,
As a matter of fact,
brother, I'm not gonna lie, I would have.
If you did, maybe she never would have came to my life.
Maybe.
So again, this shows you something.
Maybe.
Put the motherfucker out of his misery. Put that fucking knee on the fucking neck and get it over with. Because if you don't, that person might go out there and commit the same fucking tragedy to someone else.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, boy, I remember that day, boy. I'll never forget it. But anyway, you know, I was like, damn. Okay, it's cold, what have you. I'm justifying this shit here, man. So I let her stay in my spot, my sacred spot, man. Books, DVDs, I mean, just everything, like a little mini library for 1 week. But I'm talking to her father. I'm like, look, she got to go. She can't stay here. Like, this don't look good. I'm a married man, young female. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, how do I know what this motherfucker's going to do, right? You know, rape, sexual abuse, what have you. I'm not going to lie. But that thought was there.
Me too.
Yeah, it was there, brother, you know. So I called her father. I said, hey, look, man, your daughter is out here and she has no place to go. You know, where's she at right now? Well, she's here. But she can only stay here for like 1 week and then she got to go. I'm not about to F up my domestic situation because of I'm not about to do that. And he was like, all right, man, thank you. You know, he tried to get 2 weeks. I'm like, no, sir, like 7 days. And so we were talking, you know, every other day about what we had to do for Veronica, because by then I knew, hey, that girl was crazy, man, straight psycho. And her father told me. I was just telling you out there on the balcony. I said, brother, I regret that I did not make a copy on my printer of this document that the father showed me, stating that the girl had at least 8. It was 8 of those bad boys. She was clinically
8 mental illnesses.
She was clinically diagnosed with 8 mental diseases or disorders, whatever you want to call it. 8 of those bad boys. I was like, my goodness. I said, God damn, what was I dealing with? And so our last resort was going to be, because she was crazy and the father knew it, we would have to call the police and they would take her to like a psych ward. And as I'm listening to this, I'm like, man, I've really done it to myself this time, man. You being nice, not vetting people, giving people the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't doing the aura photography and the astrology. And I'm not going to lie to you. Back then, I didn't do my due diligence. See, that's why you got the non-disclosure right now, you see? So if I was still doing things I was doing 10 years ago, it'd be the same way because of this person. And man, when that girl left, man, I had a conversation with the angels, man. I was so grateful. I said I would never, ever do that again, man, because that was very, very risky. I know people who got hemmed up dealing with that girl who called criminal cases. As a matter of fact, when we met, your case was criminal.
She tried.
You see, I didn't have a case.
This fucking bitch who I fucking threw out fucking started a criminal fucking case on me. I had to go to fucking Massachusetts.
That's how we met.
Yeah, that's how we met.
That's how Gary and I hooked up.
I had to go to fucking Massachusetts. I'm talking to my man over here on the phone. He didn't know me by Gary's numbers, guy back then.
No, I didn't know anything,
We're just talking
man.
about this fucking bitch.
And I knew her, so.
Let me ask you this, Djehuty. How much of the fact that this bitch was fucked up in the head do you attribute to the fact that her mother was a whore?
Oh, the father told, look, man, okay, the people don't know who she is. You calling her Vari. Look, the father told me that the mother was crazy than a motherfucker and was a whore, was promiscuous.
She was basically a prostitute. She was a prostitute.
He told me, and I said, dude, you're supposed to be a member of the Black Panther Party. I said, why'd you do it? He said, man, I just wanted a freaky good time. That's what he told me. So I said, why did you drop seed in her? He dropped seed in her 2 times. I said, why'd you do that? And he was like, you got me, man. He told me, he's like, you got me. He said, I shouldn't have done it. He said, because VZ's mother was crazy than a motherfucker. I will never forget that dude's word, man. The mother was crazy. The mother was a whore.
Men, remember, it's not worth it.
No, it's not.
It's just not worth it. That one-night stand, that 5, 10, 15, hell, 30 minutes if you're a G, it's not worth it, because if you fuck around with these whores, this is the end result. You have crazy ass people who come into this world, because don't let anyone tell you, don't let anyone fucking tell you that if a fucking woman is not a fucking whore, if she's not fucking getting ran into, don't let anyone tell you that doesn't affect the kids. It does.
Yeah.
With fucking health, with mental health, with physical health. A lot of times these women talk about, yo, my kid's autistic. Yo, my kid is this. Yo, my kid is that. I'm thinking back in mind, you should have kept your fucking legs closed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't care what nobody say. It is definitive. Look, I don't advocate masturbation, but if you're dealing with what do you call her? We call her VZ. You call Vari.
Vari.
Man, let me tell you something.
Split personality. She has so many fucking different names.
You're going to come out better doing shit, plug tuning a goddamn cantaloupe than messing around with something like that, because you will regret it. Like I told you out there, brother, on the patio, I know of 2 dudes who caught criminal cases. Now, I don't know if those dudes are still serving time or what, but when it was going down, it was criminal. And these brothers were young, and they caught cases. This girl just throw cases like it ain't nothing. And people's lives are on the line, man.
It's a joke to her. It's a joke to her.
For you, I believe going to Massachusetts, you missed your child's first birthday.
I missed one of my kids' birthdays.
I think you had when you were in Massachusetts.
I missed one of my kids' birthdays.
I remember that. because of that shit.
I had to go to Massachusetts because this fucking whore made up some charges. And I'm sitting there in front of the judge. She doesn't even fucking show up. And I'm like, Judge, is there any accountability for this woman? Because she dragged me all the way out here. I missed my kid's freaking birthday. And there's no accountability to these bitches. There's absolutely none. And this is the whole point. Men, we hold all the power. We honestly hold all the power. How do you know this? Because when any country is occupied, it's 8 to 80. It's 8 to 80. Most people look it up what 8 to 80 means on the internet. 8 to 80 meant when those Russian soldiers were going to defeated Nazi Germany, 8 to 80. Yeah. As young as an 8-year-old
up to
girl
80.
To an 80-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Women only have rights as long as men provide them.
Now, didn't you have to fly out there?
Yes.
Didn't you have to get a rental car? Didn't you have to stay in a hotel?
Yes.
Didn't you have to buy yourself food?
Yep. And I had to smoke some garbage weed too.
All that shit, money. But my point is, it was insult to injury. The man missed out on a child's birthday, then have to come out of his pipe. Wasn't no thing, but it's the principle, people. You know, it's just you got snaps.
I don't want to go to fucking Massachusetts.
It's a principle type of thing. You know, it's like going to court when you don't want to go to court. Like, it doesn't feel good, you know? So you got these false charges, man, money that could have been spent on your child or your wife or what have you. You know, and so, you know, you have a system that allows what we are talking about today, and it's on purpose.